Good evening everyone, this is John Randall again. This is the second video that I'm doing. Hope you're well, hope you had a nice weekend. Just got back from a day out with my daughter. I've had a lovely time. That's what it's all about, making time for your kids. Now, as I mentioned in the previous video, I've done a book called It's Time to Open Up, Not Man Up. And what I'm going to do with each sort of thing, I'm going to go through every chapter with you, maybe once or twice a week. There's 31 chapters, I'll break them all down and have a little chat about them, and we'll sort of like go from there really. So the first chapter of the book would have been The Mask of Masculinity. Again, it's a big deal for men. You know, that tough, bravado, big man sort of show that we put on to tell people that, you know, we're men, you know, we're tough and we don't have feelings or feel any vulnerability. Well, it's a load of bollocks, because I'm about to tell you a few little things that we all do. And we've got to stop doing it really. Firstly, I'd like you to like the video and subscribe if you don't mind. And then I'll be updating videos, probably 2 videos a week more than likely. And I appreciate any support I get. And obviously there's links to my books now. So feel free to obviously buy one, get one, and leave me some feedback and let me know what you think. Again, it's my first real book, be gentle with me, I'm trying. Yeah, so let's get started. So basically, Chapter 1 is the mask of masculinity, and it's just I try to unmask it and embrace the vulnerability a bit more in men, because we're taught from a young age that obviously we've got to be a certain way. You know, feelings is not something we can let out. You know, and that's why really, you know, I live in the East End, so most men I met when I was a young kid, and they laughed and joked it off and give it all the big talk and, you know, this, that and the other. And, you know, that's just how it was then. But, you know, we're still doing it now. I mean, I've done it. I mean, I'm one of the best people to pretend everything's fine, but it's not. You know, things are happening, it could be a smallest thing, you know, you could be struggling financially, you know, trouble at home, in a relationship, work, and you just don't talk about it. And if you don't talk about it, as time goes on, it becomes bigger than what it actually is. And it comes to the point that it starts affecting your mental health. People start noticing differences in you. You're quieter, you know, you're snappy, you're drinking, you're eating, you're doing more things that you shouldn't normally do, you know. And to be honest with you, you know, we're all guilty of it. Like, this thing's got to stop. Like, you know, men have got to be men. And I get it, there are some men that are like that, and more power to them. But everyone's got a chink in their armour somewhere. And a lot of it is that frightened to be vulnerable, or feel like, you know, there's another side to you, there's a caring side, or something where you want to say, actually, look, you know, to a friend or your wife or whoever it might be, you know, I'm not quite happy, I'm not feeling right, I feel a bit upset about something. You know, it could be anything, you know. Stress, that's one of the worst things, is stress builds up, it becomes a little bit of stress, and it becomes, because you leave it for so long, it manifests into something bigger. And, you know, when you come home, how many times you come home and your girlfriend, your wife, or your kids, or your friends, or someone said to you, "You all right? What's the first thing we do?" "Yeah, I'm fine." That's it. That's our normal sentence back all the time. "I'm fine." That's got to stop. If you're not fine, then say something. Because the longer you leave it, it becomes like it becomes so normal that you just don't want to, you know, break that cycle. Let's say, no, I'm not all right. There's nothing wrong with feeling like that, you know. There's nothing wrong with, I don't know, just speaking how you want to speak, you know. Look, yeah, I feel crap, I'm down, I don't feel right, you know. And we bury it for so long. The longer you bury it, the harder it becomes. It can be a simple thing at the beginning, then it becomes harder. For myself, you know, things weren't going right for a long while. You know, things seemed to be going right, and then they went wrong. But instead of actually going, it's gone wrong, and this is why, and this is why X, Y, Z, I carried on pretending everything was fine. You don't do that. All that does is make you ill. It affects everyone around you. You don't realise, like, your kids, they notice your mood. Your friends, your wife, your girlfriend, your mum, your dad, they all notice your mood. So people do know. Some people are sometimes scared to actually ask you, you sure you're all right? Because then you put a big wall up. Then the anger kicks in, the masculinity side. I'm a man, I'm fine, nothing wrong with me, do what I want. Leave me alone, piss off, you know? That's what we do. And sometimes we battle back with the anger to make you stop digging. So if someone, if your wife starts asking what's wrong with you, babe, sometimes you just get nasty for no reason because you want to scare them to go, I don't want you to pry because actually I'm feeling like shit. Or actually something is not quite right and I don't know where to go with it. Or I don't know how to speak about it to anyone about it. And when you go out with your boys or with your friends or whatever, workmates, whatever it might be, there's no harm in sitting there. Don't be scared to, I know it sounds horrible, but when you first broke that wall down, that first little brick, you knock it out by saying, do you know what? I ain't feeling great. I am struggling financially. Whatever it will be, it will start rolling off the tongue. And there's nothing wrong with feeling vulnerable. We're all allowed to feel like it. But some of us, especially men, that's something it's in our DNA. We can't show that. And it's something we've got to change. It ain't going to change overnight. It's going to take time. But it's got to start with you actually having the courage to I don't feel too good. I don't know what to do or what to say. Putting this big show on and putting this mask on and walking around thinking you're Billy Big Bollocks, it doesn't work. Everyone sees through it in time. And most people can see through it. They just don't want to say nothing because they don't want to pry or upset you or, they rather leave you be and they think you're dealing with it. And then you're not. I was dealing with it for a long time. Especially this last 8 months, a year, 18 months now maybe, I've been putting on the biggest mask ever. And all I'd done was just buried it, and when things went wrong, the time came to actually say, something's not right, and I couldn't do it. I just carried on, pretend everything was fine. If you said something to me, I battered back at you with something anger. No matter who you was, I knew your weaknesses. I knew what to say to you to stop you prying at me. That's just not right. You don't do that. There's no shame in opening up and saying something. It stops all the shit, all the nonsense. All that stuff later on down the line where you've gone so far now you can't get out of it. All because of a simple little thing you should have said at the bloody beginning. I don't feel right. I feel slightly vulnerable. I feel a little bit upset. I'm not happy in my career, not happy with my life, my relationship or whatever it will be. I'm not happy about how I look or something. Address it, talk about it. Whoever it will be, we've got to just put this to one side now, all this walking around like we're all fine and we're not. And it comes from that word that I've been saying all along. This bloody man up word is a load of bollocks. It's been used it started off as a term of banter. Like playing football. I get it on a football pitch. I get it when it's, when there's a fight or something, It was a little silly term. Like, come on, man up, do something. Yeah. Back then, it had a little bit of thing about it. Playing football when someone's pushing you about or the centre half or the midfielder's dominating you. Yeah, I understand them words then. Because by then, you come off the pitch, it's done. It's a game. Now that word's become so used freely, it's used in life. If your husband's having a bad time, or boyfriend, or your brother, or whoever, cousin, oh, fucking man up. Yeah, you say that a lot. And how many men go and do something like take their own life? I'm not saying just because of that word, but it builds up. It makes them think, shit, I'm not man enough. I'm not good enough. All starts from this being scared of being vulnerable, scaring that I've done something wrong, or I don't like this, or I ain't coping with life. Because life is shit, as we know, it's hard. Life throws stuff at you that you ain't ready for after bloody time, and it ain't easy. But it was so much easier we just spoke. Like men, we got banter with our friends and our workmates, and the average geezer we see on the street, everything is fine. How you doing, mate? Right, there's no harm in going, you sure you're right, mate? How you feeling? Just change the narrative from the normal, he's alright, he's top geezer, he's always giving it all the banter. Yeah, that one who's giving it all that, sometimes ain't the one he's probably more unhappy than you realise. Or the one that will help you more than anyone, but won't help himself. You'll see these people, you'll get to see it as it goes on, but it starts with us changing the narrative of being scared to be vulnerable. We're men have got to be men. Yeah, I get it, all men can step up when they've got to, of course they do. But it's not easy. Sometimes they can't do certain other things. Everyone's got a skill at something else. Someone's good at this, someone's not good at that. That's just how it is. You can meet the richest man in the world. He could be the most unhappiest man in the world, believe me. It starts right from the top all the way down to the bottom. Everyone's got an issue somewhere. Or someone's not quite happy. All you've got to do is just break down this thing. Even talk to your kids. Or wherever it is you feel like you can go, you know what, I don't feel right. Just say it. You know, I'm trying to do these videos and break it down, and I'm going to be honest and real, because I fucked up massively. I lost literally everything, and I had 2 wobbles that were bad. This one was, the third one was the last one. This one was really big, to the point where I didn't want to be here no more. You know, and I really felt about it. I felt crap. And all I had to do was open up to, I've got a big circle of friends, but you, like I said, you know that saying, you could be in a room full of people and you can still be alone. Well, that happened as time goes on. The more and more I let this go, the more and more it happened. I was just wanting to bury myself on my own and sit there and plan how I'm going to get out of X, Y, Z. And in the meantime, just messing up my old brain and messing up my family and friends, and just making this whole thing become so difficult that you lost everything. And what would I have done if I took my own life, you know? And look, there are men that have done it, and look, I'm not sitting there judging anyone, because everyone's going through a lot of shit. You don't know what anyone's going through. That's why I never judge no one. But suicide shouldn't be that. There should be something there. It's going to take time to get men to start feeling like they can open up. But it's down to us to change it. The next generation, change our kids' mentality, our young kids. You know, make sure it's all right to talk about how you feel. You fall down and scratch your knee, yeah, fuck me, it hurts, yeah. And you have a little cry, yeah, you're allowed to cry it out. Not walk it off, you know, change the little narrative on things. I know that I ain't telling anyone to change how they bring their kids up, I'm not. But we should be in a situation where we should be able to talk about our feelings, especially for a young boy, a young man, you know, going up through, you know, junior school, whatever, even being young at school and being like bullied and all that. They keep it all quiet. How many kids have you seen take their own lives because they're being bullied because they didn't know how to talk? It all stems from way back how we've all been brought up. Era after era, it's just carried on. It's only starting to change now. It's only going to change with us changing. People like myself talk. I'm not the only one. There's loads of men out there who have got all my respect. They've been out there talking about all their things, addictions, and, you know, all sorts. There's some nasty things out there that we all get into, and like sometimes you just can't get out of it. But the only way to get out of it is talking about it. And when you've suffered and you've been there, I feel an obligation to put it out there. Look, I've been there and I've done some stupid shit, and I've popped pills. I've done all sorts of stuff to numb the pain of actually. This thing in here is a powerful but an horrible fucker, because it can really make you do stuff that you never think you could do. Now, breaking down this chapter, I want us to start embracing it a little bit more. Embrace vulnerability. There's no harm. It starts with maybe the relationship with you and your son, you and your dad. You know. Mine started way back from a kid. I don't know how it started, but I always had lack of confidence and thought I was big better than I was. There were little things. You know, I ain't going to go right through it today, but I'll break it down. But then obviously it started manifesting as time went on. It more so, I lost my mum and dad to cancer. Now, my mum and dad, especially my dad, he died horrifically. Now, I ain't going to go into grief, that'll be part of the chapters I go through, but grief is a bastard. Because when you lose your mum and dad or someone who's really close to you, there's no words for it. Part of you goes with them, and you never get it back. You find yourself lost in a world that don't make any sense anymore. You're so angry at the world for taking that one special or 10 special people away from you. You're pissed. You are so angry. Then this starts to do. This is constant. And since that happened, I've never ever been right. I've done crazy things and got involved in things that I shouldn't, you know, because I thought at the time it was the right thing I needed to do to better myself or do something. Again, it's all about us looking better. If you ain't got a lot, who gives a shit? That's what I've come down to myself. You've got, I mean, you see my beautiful daughter, but I've got a beautiful daughter, I've got a beautiful son, who just want time with their dad. That's all they ask. They want their real dad back, the dad that they know. And I'm trying to be that man that I am now, and it's took time. And I ain't there yet. But writing and other things, and, you know, I just take negative things. So here she is, my beautiful daughter, Kira, everyone. And, you know, it starts with, like, for me, I always thought that people around me wanted more, including my wife, my kids, you know, my sisters. I thought they wanted better of me, and they wanted me to be me, and I wasn't quite happy with it. So now I've started to try and fix that. I've started writing, and yeah, it's all new to me. I've tried doing it on my own, and, you know, layouts of difference in my books. I haven't done them all completely properly, but my stories are there for everyone to read. But this one It's time to open up, not man up. I tried to write it in a way that's so simple that it's easy to read. It's like in a poetry form. It's not a full book of paragraphs. It's just a little bits of each chapter written down in a small form. Because there's some great books out there. I ain't saying there's some lovely books that I've read and they're great and then people are fantastic. But it's a lot to take in. I've written it smaller and broke it down into every little piece that I can. And, you know, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make mental health not simple. Mental health's fucking hard. It's hard to live with. Like, this thing here is like a pinball machine. It's constant. I can sit there talking to you about something, my brain's fully focusing on what's going to happen next. That's what I started learning. I've got to learn to chill, balance myself out. I can't win all the time, no I don't. But it's finding that common ground where I can sit there and go, right, the brain's gone off to Alice in Wonderland now, I need to bring it back a little bit because I'm starting to lose myself. That's because part of my brain's been so focused on all the negative that's happened, and even I can look at a person and they can tell me the most wonderful speech, I'll find that one sentence that was negative and I'll be like, well, that's it, yeah, the person don't like me. And that's been me for the last 18 years and that's been bloody difficult to live with. It's only now, by embracing my flaws, started with like, I'm not a perfect human, fucking far from it, but I'm a nice person and I focus on the good little bits about me and try to build that person slowly, which starts with me embracing that, yeah, I can be a manly man. I'm going to protect my kids and all the normal stuff that we all do. That's there. That's normal. That's standard for us. It's the other things we take in. We've got to be financially great. Our kids have got to have the greatest trainers, the greatest tracksuits. No, they haven't. You get what you're given. You live within your means. As long as they've got you and they're happy with you, they ain't going to think like that. It's us thinking like that. Because maybe we didn't have nothing when we was little. But think about it, when we was little, we didn't have nothing. Mum and Dad must have had the same stresses that we had. They probably had their own mental health issues. But that era was like, you get what you're given, and you got on with it. You didn't question it. More so now, there's a lot more keeping up with the Joneses, because the way the world is with social media and the way society is now, it's different, it's hard. Everyone's got to look a certain way and think they've got to look, and I get it. But you don't need to. As long as you're a nice bloody person, who gives a shit what you're wearing, what you ain't got, what you have got, what money you got, what you haven't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. If you're a good person who's got a nice soul and you are, know what, I always envy people who are happy about them. It starts with yourself. If you love yourself and you're comfortable with yourself, they're the people you want to be around. Because it starts with you learning to be on your own, or if you're still with, have that time on your own. Start liking your own company first, then you'll start realising, hang on a minute, then you know what you actually like. You know? So let's just all start embracing it, lads, because this is getting silly now, you know. Yeah, I know we've got to be a certain way and I ain't going to be able to change every man or, you know, young man, young kid, whatever. But it starts embracing, you've got flaws, you feel a bit emotional, you know, you lose a family member but you don't want to cry. Fucking cry, because you're allowed to cry. Because you don't cry, that's going to bottle up and that turns into anger and that turns into resentment. All that comes from stopping yourself being vulnerable. You're allowed to be vulnerable. Yeah, you want to be a big man, with your big muscles and give it, that's fine. Just embrace the other side of you, the caring side. You know, if you see a mate out there, he looks a bit, have a chat with him, have a coffee with him, have a tea with him. You see your mate, he's losing weight, give him a shout, you're looking good, mate. You know, give him that little thing. Let's start encouraging each other instead of putting each other down, or start fucking using this poxy word, man up, because it's got to fucking stop. You know, I swore a lot in this video, and I do swear a lot. People that know me, I'm trying my hardest not to swear all the time, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. But please, like, let's stop this mask covering how we're going to, this, hiding behind this masculinity thing. Take the bloody thing off and start being a bit more understanding and a bit more focused on what you want. Your body's upset about something, then fuck's sake, let it out. Talk about it. Right, anyway, look, that's this video I've done, but look. Right, this is the book. Right, and everything's there. Now, I would appreciate any feedback, and by all means, you know, comment on the video. I'm happy to talk to anyone, you know. I'm trying my hardest, I'm just trying to get it out there. I'll probably do another video in the middle of the week to go on to chapter 2. There's Kira getting in my video again, I think she likes the video. Oh. There she is, yeah, that's my beautiful daughter. Yeah, so look, let's just look, that's chapter 1 of my book, and that's the second video I've done there. So let's start now, trying to open up, start chatting about things. Again, like and subscribe. All the support I get, the better. And you have a lovely evening, people. And I will speak to you on the next video. Take care. Look after yourself. Bye-bye. Bye.